And welcome to Tom Myers versus the rest of the world. A lot's been going on this week. In a recent interview, when asked if he believed that he was upholding the Constitution of the United States, Donald Trump responded, "I don't know." To be fair, that is a lot more syllables than he's used to hearing. Following the funeral of Pope Francis, Trump shared an AI-generated image of himself as the Pope. I suppose you could say he qualifies a little in that he's covered up sexual assaults, but they have been against adults and women, so those are two disqualifying factors from him getting the job. But using that logic, Michael Jackson would make a better Pope than Donald Trump now, and he's dead. Trump announced he wants to cut off funding to PBS and NPR. He's doing it that way since they haven't been defunded the old-fashioned way, pushing election conspiracy theories and being served a defamatory judgment against them like Fox and Newsmax. House Speaker Mike Johnson says Congress will move to fix the budget crisis in D.C. Knowing Mike Johnson, that probably means setting the city on fire for a hefty insurance payout. The woman who kidnapped Elizabeth Smart was arrested after visiting two parks, which was a violation of her parole, just when she thought Trump cutting the National Park Service was coming in handy for her. In news local for me anyway, the Baltimore Ravens released their kicker, Justin Tucker. He does have a fallback career, as he's a trained opera singer, a skill he picked up during the many orgasms he received during his massages. I'm going to catch some shit for that one. And for these coming up. I'm amazed this was kept a secret for so long. If he screamed in ecstasy at a parlor in Middle River, it can easily be heard across Baltimore County and Reisterstown. This is quite a downfall for Justin Tucker. He had to have fucked up bad in order to ruin everyone in eastern Baltimore County's chances of getting laid. Of course, Justin Tucker jerseys are now on sale at a big discount, which is just as well, as many people will fittingly keep them under their beds with the rest of their cum rags. Of course, this means Justin Tucker's lost his endorsement deal with Royal Farms. Now, a lot of people are applying for that job now and clamoring for it. I want it, to be honest. Sure, I hate advertising, but it technically won't be selling out, as I only want to get paid in chicken and potato wedges. Lee Zeldin, the head of the Environmental Protection Agency, says he plans to cut the agency down to Reagan-era levels of staffing. That's fitting, as Trump's cognition is the same as Reagan's hours before his death. And on that cheerful note, on with the show. Joining me this week to discuss the big topics, Polite Kitty, Valerie Paschall, Nicole Blessing, and Srilatha Rajamani.
Woo!
Hello.
Everyone, welcome. Srilatha, welcome to, this is your debut on my show, so thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for asking me. It's so far been a hoot. I loved all of the things you said. Didn't know anything about sports, but I've done, I've taken a massage plenty of times. So, yeah.
Ooh, I like her. Tom, I will take Justin Tucker's Royal Farms endorsements. Give them to me.
Oh, it's on. It is on site.
Yes, you and me.
I'm still Team Wawa. I'm going to get out of this fight.
It's okay. You're allowed to be wrong.
I didn't. Who says I'm wrong? There's about to be a fight on this show.
She likes Wawa. She's a Yankees fan. You know, it's... Polite likes to stir stuff up. I feel like she's fitting in very well with the show the past few years she's been on here.
That's right.
Slightly less polite, Kitty.
That is actually my OnlyFans, not so polite Kitty.
We'll drop the link in the Patreon, everybody. Three of the main architects of Donald Trump 2.0's immigration policy are Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, who finds this job challenging since she discovered that getting rid of immigrants is a lot harder than getting rid of family pets. There There's Tom Homan, the White House Executive Director of Enforcement and Removal Operations, who looks like Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller if he overdosed on steroids. And then you have the aforementioned Stephen Miller, who looks like the aforementioned Tom Homan after a prolonged hunger strike. Together, Tom Homan and Stephen Miller look like the father taking his son out for his first beer and then, well into the evening, after several pints, giving him an earful in a racist rant that could be described as the less polished version of the Michael Richards tirade. Reportedly, Stephen Miller's staunch adamance that immigrants of a certain complexion be deported goes back to his days in high school when he asked a Hispanic classmate out and she turned him down. Imagine being able to, in retrospect, stop or put off one of the worst acts of fascism that any Western power has undertaken just by sitting in a darkened movie theater being fondled by Stephen Miller. Hell, that's still my fantasy, which is why I've been giving my Stephen Miller sex doll a workout since January. And we were talking about Kristi Noem earlier. I do have to go ahead and share this image, which, speaking of sharing an image, I will go ahead and describe it for those not listening on YouTube, which if you aren't on YouTube, feel free to come on over, give me the watch hours, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And this is Alina Habba, who was one of Donald Trump's attorneys, with Kristi Noem saying, our U.S. Marshals and New York/New Jersey Regional Fugitive Task Force crushed it today. God bless these unsung heroes. So basically, Kristi Noem and Alina Habba, like, they've all gotten themselves together and they all look like sort of like the Charlie's Angels of fascism. Like, the only thing they aren't doing is they aren't doing that pose where they're pretending they're holding the guns with their fingers.
I don't know. I think Charlie's Angels, like, that's an insult to them. I mean, these look like sort of melted down Bratz dolls. What the hell? How are they unsung heroes? They're just, I'm sorry, I threw up a little bit in my mouth there for a second.
They all look the same. Am I being racist towards white women? I don't know. I was
No,
looking at
you're
the
not.
picture. I didn't know who was who. They
That's
all
the
look
look.
the same.
The only racism we tolerate on this show is reverse racism. So you're good, Srilatha. You're good.
No, they
No,
all have
they-
that
they
same
do.
look.
Yeah, it's awful. It is just so awful that I can't help laughing at, like, it just feels weird, like they are going all militia. I've seen these poses like shared by like the Taliban. I have seen these poses shared by, like, I mean, do you know what? They have so much in common with Osama bin Laden, actually. If they met, they could have a nice cup of tea and discuss how to destroy the world.
Oh my gosh. Yes, you are right. Right here, right now, we are knowing that look how much they have in common.
The attitude, the poses, the stupidity, it's all the same. They're just like the white Osamas. Like, I don't know what to say.
I think the White Osamas is the name of their latest punk band.
I mean, that sort of fits. I mean, they stand up there as, you know, the poster child of the Trump administration while their rights are being stripped away.
Right. And by punk, I mean the kind that was funded by Urban Outfitters, not the kind that came from people that were actually being oppressed.
Right.
The debate over illegal immigration is not new. In fact, some of the more salient details of it were kept out of the mainstream coverage of last year's election cycle. Even today, the news networks have completely ignored the fact that Donald Trump ordered fellow Republicans not to support the comprehensive bipartisan bill. Additionally, the media has also forgotten that the Republican governors are to blame for exacerbating the situation with regard to the more Democratic-leaning states. In this brief clip from a House hearing on immigration, Florida Congressman Byron Donalds tries to ask why Biden didn't do anything about the resources of the blue states being stretched before Denver Mayor Mike Johnston reminds him why.
Mayor Johnston of Denver, you lamented earlier that there were 10 to 11 buses coming per day to your city. Did you ever talk to Joe Biden about why this was happening to your community?
Thank you, Congressman. I both reached out to Governor Abbott from Texas. He didn't respond, and I did.
Why would you reach out to Governor Abbott of Texas when it is Joe Biden, the former commander-in-chief, that opened up our borders? Why didn't you talk to him?
Well, our buses directly were being sent from Governor Abbott in Texas, so that was why we reached out to say we're happy to collaborate on a coordinated entry system. We understand no one state or no one city should bear the entire brunt of this, but let's collaborate. But I did.
So I'm glad you said that.
And that was just the deflection of the Leslie Nielsen variety. Just move along, please disperse, nothing to see. Forget that I stepped on my own schlong. Forget that I made a complete ass out of myself.
Someone else is going to take the lead.
No, I sometimes I just wonder if they hear themselves. It just reminds me of people who move the goalposts because they don't want to be wrong. And so they can't hear that they're wrong. So they're like, but like I was saying, it's like, but you missed the answer.
I mean, that's pretty much the whole motto or philosophy of the Trump administration so far.
Is if we pretend we're not wrong, maybe we'll still get the credit.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't even pretend that they're wrong. I mean, all the stuff that's happening now, they're just like, well, that's what y'all signed up for. It's really? Really? I sure as hell didn't sign up for this. And this idea that, oh, we're just going to illegally, move people from state to state without any sort of oversight or, whatever. Because there consistently is this double standard that Republicans can do whatever the hell they want without any repercussions. But, if any Democratic governor had done such a thing, it would just have been a travesty, a miscarriage of justice. And the only way anything is going to get better is if we end this double standard. If we get people in there that are like, hell no, fuck you, we're not putting up with this shit anymore.
Yeah, I mean, the Republicans really need people on their side to stop treating their elected officials as if they are some sort of golden gods who can do no wrong and start treating them the way Democrats treat the elected officials and say, the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, the town halls, they're dragging out people who disagree with them. And we're all supposed to be like, oh, well, that's totally acceptable because Republicans are the most God-fearing people on the face of the earth and can do no wrong.
I mean, I'm totally okay with, if all the Democratic governors of all the states taking all the stinky Republican voters in their states and throwing them into Florida, even if they get them buried inside a swamp, I'm totally okay. Get rid of them. I'm perfectly fine with following that playbook and let them do the same thing. I mean, I'm okay with some of my neighbors leaving, for instance, so I can take over their rent controlled apartment, but that's just a personal thing.
How have conservative figures taken to the new initiatives of the Trump 2.0 immigration policies? Simply put, they have become ball-washing dickheads, as we can see in this clip from Newsmax, where a plate of tacos is used as a prop.
What are you going to do? Will you come take it out of my ham? I'm going to eat half this plate during the break. Maybe I'll call the ICE hotline. I don't know if I'll have enough time. Sure. All kidding aside, this is actually really good taco. These people broke the law. They broke the law to get here.
That would have been the perfect time for that taco to have lodged right in his throat and just rendered him utterly speechless.
They broke the law of spice and taste. Ooh, they exceeded my spicy, tasty expectations. They should be punished. Bad taco.
Oh my God. I'm pretty sure I saw a bead of sweat coming down. He was really, like, oh God.
It wasn't even a filled taco. I don't think it was. I think it was from a white people restaurant because, you don't eat taco that neatly. It is a messy thing. Meanwhile, he was eating it like and it wasn't filled, and he was like making it a point. I don't know. I was just hoping that he choked on it or something. Something just like, piece fell out, like, and I don't know. I was just waiting for that. I didn't even have hear what he was saying. I just wanted the taco to disintegrate, as a protest. I hope he got it from Chipotle, though. That would be nice. Then he'll fall sick.
It was definitely not an authentic taco. It was a white person made taco.
Absolutely.
That jingle that they have on TikTok now is white people taco.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
That sounds.
I
Like
am so out. I am so out of the loop now that it's just I feel so uncool now on my own show.
I think white people taco is Pringles chips.
Okay, don't bring Pringles chips into this because you can put two in your mouth and do a little duck face. Name another chip you can do that with.
You pissed off the white person?
I mean, you could do the same with the Calbee seaweed chips from H Mart.
Someone's doing well.
Yeah.
It sound Play Kitty. That song sounded like it came from a chant from a soccer game in Europe. White people taco. You're just a white people taco. White people taco.
So
That'll
glad
be
I
the
made
new
my singing
insult.
debut on this show.
No, that's it. It'll be the huge new insult. You're nothing but a white person's taco. Get away from me.
Oh my goodness.
Despite the right-wing media's narrative to frame the deportation of immigrants in this country even legally, some Democratic members of Congress are quick to clap back at their detractors, as we can see in this exchange with a reporter from the Daily Caller and Minnesota's representative, Ilhan Omar.
Congresswoman Omar, I'm Miles Morrell with the Daily Caller News Foundation. Do you think more of your Democratic colleagues should be traveling to El Salvador to advocate on behalf of Rodrigo Garcia?
I think you should fuck off. Yeah,
I'm sorry, what, Congresswoman?
Fuck off.
Who should?
You.
Why me?
We're not taking any questions right now, but here you go.
Yeah, thanks.
I love how the guy is so jaded that he's probably been told that often by women, either like individually or just in a group, like what he ran into there.
That was just so satisfying to watch. Let's watch that clip again.
I think it was the most polite, I think you should fuck off. Like, it should have been like, fuck off, or, like the finger gesture. But it was such a polite thing, a congresswoman being polite. I'm appreciating that.
Well, she is a congresswoman from Minnesota, my home state, and we do politely tell people to go fuck themselves.
Nice.
I appreciate that manners and honesty.
That's right.
See, it is the upper Midwest, which is very, very different from the rest of the Midwest.
I mean, I also think the Daily Caller should fuck off, but
it's that close proximity to Canada. You get your politeness from them. It filters on down across the border. So
yeah, but I mean, have you all seen Fargo?
Of course.
Like the movie Fargo?
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah. So we're people that are comfortable with throwing others into a wood chipper. So take that with a grain of salt.
I feel lazy in the Baltimore area. We just do drive-bys and then we're done. Like a wood chipper sounds like a lot of effort.
You have to
really.
You have to go to Dundalk for the wood chipper.
Ah,
yeah,
this is true.
But once you have it, it's always there. You can pull it behind your truck. You can park it in the backyard. It's got to be always accessible.
Nicole's been planning this.
Yeah.
She's just still planning this, just in case. As a sign that the majority of the country does not support Donald Trump's immigration policy, let alone his second presidency, friends and neighbors of those targeted by Trump's immigration Gestapo are going on the defensive, even to some extremes, as we can see in this local news report.
These are a couple of ICE officers.
For 4 hours, a man and his son sat inside of this car as 2 immigration and customs enforcement agents tried to get them to surrender. The father is reportedly in the country illegally, so the ICE agents were tasked with bringing him into custody. But when neighbors heard what was going on, they came to assist their neighbor.
We made sure they had water, they had food, we put gas back in the vehicle when they were getting low, just to make sure that they're okay.
These folks in Hermitage say they don't care how someone got here, it's how they act when they are here.
The family don't bother nobody, they work every day, they come home, the kids jump on their trampoline, it's just a community.
Stacy Farley helped create a human chain to help the family get from their cars safely into their home, and she did not think twice about supporting her neighbors.
I could see if these people were bad criminals, but they're not. They're just trying to provide for their kids.
The standoff brought Metro Police to the scene to keep the peace, council members, as well as lawyers to evaluate the situation.
There were two immigration officials sort of bullying a family inside their own vehicle, telling them that they had an administrative warrant, which isn't the same thing as a judicial warrant, and trying to harass them and fear them into coming out.
At the end of the day, the ICE agents left and the family ended up leaving too, in search of a safer place.
The way those guys look, I know this is an audio-only podcast, but the video portion of that is up on the YouTube page. Speaking of which, if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple or any of those other sites, go ahead and like, subscribe, and watch the video listen to the podcast on there and give me the watch hours. But like, if you can see that video, like the two immigration officials there, I mean, they scared the shit out of me even.
Yeah. I want it noted again, because I don't know who is actually watching versus listening, but this was in Alabama. And what a
Actually, it was, the report was from Alabama, but it was in Tennessee.
Oh, so. In Tennessee. Still, Tennessee, this is like, you're talking about an area of the country, that is, has a stereotypical, way about them. If someone said they were from Tennessee, I'd be like, ugh, I don't want anything to do with you right now. But this is a grace where community came together, and this was so wholesome. I loved it.
Yeah, it's almost as if people are starting to realize, oh, this whole plan is nonsense.
Maybe.
I'm like, maybe. Little by little, we're going to start to get to the point where we realize this is nonsense.
I know, a hopeful clip on this show. You didn't expect that. I apologize. But
I was thinking the same thing. I thought, my God, there's a wholesome clip on this show. I was totally
oh my gosh. Like, what do? I have nothing to be snarky at.
I was just thinking, like they were saying, this person they're a family, they live, they work. In a sense, like if you just made all immigration like legal, but made sure that everybody is documented, you'd make it legal. There is no punishment, but everybody is documented. You can collect taxes from them. You can do everything. Like won't that be good for the whole country? It's likely, it's like criminalizing people for like who are just trying to survive, take care of their families. If you want to do that, then how far back do you want to go? Like they're already talking about 1960s, 50s and everything. Go back a few centuries. Maybe then, Trump and his family would have to leave as well.
But even the people that do have a legal status are being deported. I mean, there's a guy from Maryland stuck in a prison in El Salvador. And we have a president who doesn't think that due process is a thing.
He doesn't know what due process is. He just thinks, it's like when he's getting, what do you call that? A legal letter from Stormy Daniels' lawyers. That's due process. I think that's what he thinks.
What does the immigration debate look like far away from the floor where legislation is discussed and the halls of Congress and various legislatures? We get a perfect example of the harsh nature in this Instagram footage.
What? Permit. Where the owner has it. Yeah, he ain't got no permit. Don't worry about it, bro. Hey, I called it in. Huh? I called it in. You called it in? Yeah. All right, sir. You have a good day. All right, you too. You got a way to do this stuff. You can't do this shit. No? We're licensed and insured. We're licensed and insured. It's okay, sir. Go ahead and do what you think. If you got a permit. Yeah, we're good to go. No, you're not. You're my boss?
No, I ain't your boss.
All right, then how do you know?
Hey, what?
Oh, yeah? You think so?
Don't know how to
Racist.
right.
You're racist, bro. Racist. Fucking cracker. Fuck racist. You're a cracker. Go, you racist. You're a racist, you little racist mother.
I just like that the fact that there are some people of a certain age, like, who don't understand how phones and other modern technology work, and that they're being recorded. So, like, in a way, I'm thankful for people who are that stupid, so they can be showcased.
Yeah, I do appreciate seeing their faces on the internet. I will admit I'm the first one that's doom scrolling, like with Tizzy and Jolly Good Ginger, and call them out.
I was just thinking, is cracker the white people taco? I'm just asking.
It
Yes,
is.
yes, it is.
I think it is.
It is, but white people taco has a better ring to it, doesn't it?
I like the white people taco.
Yeah. Well, because I don't know, cracker is just a term that just sounds silly. Although, if you say anything with the correct inflection, you can make it sound terrifying. Like if that guy had been like, you're a white people taco.
I mean, if we're gonna do crackers, let's be like, you're such a saltine.
To be fair, I love saltines.
They make my stomach feel better.
I know.
Yeah, don't insult the saltine like that. Although you do know, I'm going to nerd out on you guys for a moment. You do know the origin of the word cracker, right? So,
yeah, it's the whips, right?
Oh.
No, it comes from it's a Gaelic in origin, from the Gaelic word crake, from Great Britain, from the northern part of Great Britain, Scotland, Ireland. So it was a Gaelic term.
Oh.
And then it became redneckized, I think, to just cracker.
Thank you for explaining, Tom.
Yeah.
The more you know. I really don't think that the concept of free speech is being taught anymore, because guy in truck, he'll be like, free speech, but that doesn't protect him from the hellfire that's going to rain upon him for doing what he did. And then he'll whine and complain that, it's free speech. And then he'll start a GoFundMe, and then all the racists will give him money, like that horrible woman
Yes,
in Rochester, Minnesota. Southern Minnesota is different. We don't care about them. No.
Yeah, it's like there's the northern part of the United States and the southern part. Like, Minnesota's got its own. I'm learning a lot of stuff about Minnesota tonight.
Right? There's a whole level of hierarchy in there. It's a lot to get into. We don't have time now. I could talk to you for an hour about the social hierarchy.
Yes.
And on that note, that's our show. I want to thank Polite Kitty, Valerie, Paschall, Nicole Blessing, and Srilatha Rajamani.
Hey.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
So
Everybody.
much.
This episode was written and hosted by Tom Myers with panelists Polite Kitty, Valerie Paschall, Nicole Blessing, and Srilatha Rajamani. Theme music composed and arranged by Jeroen van den Hurck. Executive producers Tom Myers, Aaron Duspiva for Oddly Funny Productions, Matt Connarton for ipmNation, and Eddie Carson for Odyssey Radio. Please leave a 5-star rating and a positive review on Apple Podcasts. And don't forget to subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Tom Myers, for access to ad-free episodes, extended episodes, and bonus clips. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for listening, and please visit tommyers.us.